Center in Los Angeles. This is KCAL 9 News at 9.
Now at 9, Memorial Day travel rush. Americans heading home after the holiday weekend, free of most COVID restrictions as cases continue to decline across the U.S.
How we honor the memory of the fallen will determine whether or not democracy will long endure.
Honoring our fallen heroes, America pays tribute with Memorial Day ceremonies across the country.
A mass shooting manhunt. Chilling new video shows the moments before a deadly ambush in Miami.
Oath Keepers indicted. More members of a far-right group face charges in connection with the insurrection at the U.S. Capitol.
And new variant concerns as the U.S. returns to normal. Health officials overseas are sounding the alarm about a new strain of coronavirus. Welcome to KCAL 9 News at 9, and we're streaming on CBSN Los Angeles. I'm Juan Fernandez.
I'm Jasmine Veal. Pat Harvey is off tonight, and we begin tonight with Americans on the move with the first holiday weekend without most COVID restrictions. And let's take a live look at LAX. Speaking of all those travelers coming or going and those brake lights, the country is wrapping up its first somewhat normal holiday since the start of this pandemic. This one spent with friends and family and without fear and frustration.
People are out and about as tens of millions of people nationwide are heading back on the road or boarding flights home after a long weekend of sun and celebration.
They wrote that ultimate blank check of their life, fighting for the freedom of this country.
I want my kids and my grandchildren to understand what the holiday is about and what men have sacrificed, men and women have sacrificed for this country.
At the same time, across the country today, Americans, including the president, pause to remember those who sacrificed on faraway battlefields for the cause of freedom. Americans headed out in those record numbers, as we've been talking about, though, for the Memorial Day weekend.
Meg Oliver has a look.
Tonight, Americans are returning from the busiest holiday travel weekend since the pandemic began, with more than 37 million people taking to the skies and roads to see family and friends, up 60% from this time last year. Over the long weekend, more than 7 million have passed through the nation's airports, with long overdue reunions on full display.
It's been over a year since we've seen them.
It's been a long, long time. As vaccinated Americans embark on their first maskless holiday, many families leave for the first time in more than a year. A nation reunited, honoring our fallen heroes. Families returning to familiar rituals as they remember the sacrifices of our soldiers. Sacrifices that unite us, as President Biden reminded Americans today.
We owe the honored dead a debt we can never fully repay. We owe them our whole souls. We owe them our full best efforts to perfect the Union.
Words that resonate after a year of monumental loss. Once again, beaches were crowded and stadiums were full, with America's favorite pastime finally making a big comeback. Crowds were overflowing at this pool party in Houston, Texas. But the summer fun may be dampened by a chlorine shortage fueled by a record number of pools. And for those trying to beat the heat, movie theaters like AMC saw their busiest weekend since their reopening last August.
I'm ready to eat. I'm ready to eat some popcorn.
Gas prices haven't deterred folks with places to go and people to see, even with prices topping $4 a gallon in California. Today's national gas price average is more than $3, up more than $1 from this time last year.
It was a little nerve-wracking at first.
Back at Newark International Airport, travelers like Samantha Fumosa feel reinvigorated after returning from Florida.
And how does it feel to be traveling on Memorial Day? It feels so great. I can't even tell you how great it feels. We had a girls' weekend, so it was much needed.
Over the weekend, American Airlines joined Southwest banning alcohol sales until September. This comes after a recent uptick in the number of violent incidents on board that have injured employees. Meg Oliver, Newark, New Jersey.
Also on this Memorial Day at Arlington National Cemetery, President Biden spoke about the ongoing threats to democracy.
How we honor the memory of the fallen will determine whether or not democracy will long endure.
Mr. Biden's remarks come as a dozen people charged in connection with the deadly insurrection at the Capitol are due in court tomorrow. All 12 defendants are members of the